Hey everybody. For those of you who don't know, my name's Dan, and I've got an important call to action tonight. I've been meaning to post a video for a while now, but I've been struggling to select a topic, so today I decided I'd just pick one and go with it. But it wasn't very hard to select one when I got home and I'd received this email from One Iowa. Assault on marriage continues in Iowa House. Now, most of you know the Iowa House just passed Joint House Resolution 6, which would make illegal gay marriage, civil unions, and even domestic partnerships if it were to pass in the Senate. So I read the subject of this email and I'm thinking, what now? Then I read the rest of the email, which says that Iowa legislators have introduced a bill that would open the door for businesses, organizations, and individuals to discriminate against LGBT couples on religious grounds. Then it goes further, stating that the bill opens the door for discrimination against any married Iowans, including interfaith and interracial couples. Obviously, I found that a little shocking, and to be honest, a little hard to believe. I've discovered that I'm kind of a freak when it comes to gathering information. If I'm going to take action on something, for example, record a video about it, I like to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. Advocacy groups like HRC and One Iowa do a great job getting the word out about important issues that affect our community, but they don't always mention where they got their information, so that's where I come in. Wanting to make sure that I've got the right information so that you have the right information, I go out and I do a little research. And by little in this case, I mean a lot, because there are apparently like 50 government organization websites for Iowa, and searching for the bill name got me one place, and searching for House of Representatives got me to another place, which didn't actually have anything to do with the House of Representatives, and anyway, I found the proposed bill, and I've included the link to it in the information for this video. It's pretty much exactly what One Iowa stated. Remember the Iowa motto? Our liberties we prize and our rights we will maintain? Well, apparently that just means certain people's rights, because this bill is all about protecting ultra-religious people from having to provide all sorts of things to couples whose marriage violates their sincerely held religious beliefs. Here's an excerpt from the bill. This bill creates the Religious Conscience Protection Act. The bill provides exemptions for religious corporations, associations, educational institutions, societies, charities, and fraternal organizations, and individuals employed by such entities while acting in the scope of employment, from any requirement to solemnize a marriage, treat a marriage as valid, or provide services, accommodations, advantages, facilities, goods, or privileges for the purposes related to the solemnization or celebration of a marriage, if, by doing so, would cause such entity to violate the sincerely held religious beliefs to which the entity subscribes, etc., etc. The bill also makes the same allowances for small businesses, and defines such businesses as a legal entity other than a natural person which meets any of the following specifications, provides services which are primarily performed by an owner of the business, has 5 or fewer employees, or if a legal entity providing housing for rent owns 5 or fewer units of housing. So it seems like fairly specific definitions, religious-related organizations, and small businesses. But the really scary thing about the whole bill is how vague it is. They certainly don't bother to explain what would constitute a violation of someone's sincerely held religious beliefs. They also don't really specify what sort of things might be seen as celebrating a marriage. A couple examples come to mind, though. A gay or interracial couple could be denied lodging at a local inn on the night of their wedding. Caterers could deny service suddenly to couples they're uncomfortable with. And honestly, the lack of specificity just leaves this open to all sorts of things. And even with the definition of small businesses as limited as it seems, it could still include a huge chunk of businesses. Add to that the ultra-vague religious corporations, associations, educational institutions, fraternal organizations, etc. What exactly does that mean? Does that count organizations that receive religious funding? What about organizations that rent a space from a religious organization? There are gaping holes in the entire thing. And no matter how many businesses this includes, we're talking about legalizing discrimination on a really big scale here. They're actually discussing legislation which would allow the denial of goods and services based on whether someone is uncomfortable with your marriage or not. Hopefully you can all appreciate how really insane that is. Joint House Resolution was bad enough, but we can talk about that later. You can also watch an amazing argument against Joint House Resolution 6 here. which was apparently ignored, but it's still a great video. But what you need to do right now, what we all need to do right now, is contact our legislators and let them know that we are appalled that House Study Bill 50, the name of this bill, was even introduced, let alone that we might be talking about it, and they need to discard it immediately. You can find the names and contact information for your legislators here. And you can also head here to send a message through One Iowa's system. Do both, and do it now. Use your words, people. It's really important that we speak up, because together we can win this fight, but we've got to stand up and act, or we may just have to watch as our rights slip away.